Kingston. On a 2h17 de route, on arrive à midi. Aujourd'hui c'est notre dernière vraie journée au Canada, parce que demain on reprend l'avion, on va à l'aéroport vers 15h. Donc ça va être une petite journée demain. Et là, aujourd'hui on va à Kingston, on va faire une balade dans un bus et ensuite on ira à l'hôtel. Sur la route, sur les 2h30 il nous reste 40 minutes, ça commence à être long, on se fait un peu chier. Et sinon on a beau temps, donc c'est agréable. On vient d'arriver à Kingston, donc maintenant il faut qu'on paye le parking et là on va aller chercher de quoi manger et ensuite on a la balade à 15h. Donc en attendant on va aller visiter un peu la ville. Du retour à EW. On sort de chez A&W. C'était très bon, comme d'hab. Ouais, il a pris un truc au poulet.
C'était pas je peux pas dire que c'est bon, c'est un burger.
Si, c'était bon. C'est meilleur que McDo en tout cas. Et moi je ressors avec mon petit verre, j'ai pas fini. Comme des bons Américains. Là on va aller faire le tour un peu de la ville avant de prendre le trolley. Donc c'est le bus qui va faire tout le tour, nous faire une visite guidée. Et ensuite on rentrera à l'hôtel.
Ils sont là. Ils vont faire le tour. J'ai juste parti pour faire avancer le corps. Ils vont faire le tour dans l'autobus.
Putain. On est arrivé au trolley, qui part dans 20 minutes, donc là on va aller s'installer dedans et ensuite on va partir pour la découverte de la ville.
And they used to stretch the hoses out to dry them. So it's only comes every year. Kingston is almost exactly halfway between Montreal and Toronto. So it was kind of in the 1600s. And this was the original fort. It was mostly out of wood. The British came along in the 1700s, burnt it down, and then rebuilt the fort, which is what we see here today. It now belongs to the Canadian military. It's overnight accommodation. In 1841, there was a big ship that was docked there. It was very cold, so they still had the engines running, and sparks were coming out of the smokestack. The sparks caught fire to a grain warehouse that was right beside it. The fire quickly spread around, catching fire to anything flammable. Sir Richard Cartwright was born in here in 1835. He was actually a well-known and a very popular politician here in Kingston. And we sent away for parts, and we still are waiting for it. So it doesn't work still. Now, across the street on the left-hand side, there's a big ship that you can see there. You'll see it better as we go around the corner. This is part of the marine around the Great Lakes. And next weekend, the long weekend, it will be open for tourists. So we're all pretty excited about that. It'll be great for you. The museum, they have a great railway display in there. The house itself was built in 1830. Huge cholera outbreak that happened in the city. 1 in 16 Kingstonians died. So on the left-hand side, we're going by some beautiful homes from the mid-1800s. Bankers, real estate, railway people. Tower here on the left. This is Murney Tower. Now Murney Tower is a museum. It'll be open next weekend as well. And the interesting thing about Murney Tower is it actually goes 6 stories on Lake Ontario on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, this is the Kingston General Hospital. This is a teaching hospital that works very closely with Queen's University. There's one cancer research years ago. The pathway that you see there actually starts in Confederation Park where we started and runs for 8 kilometers along the Kingston waterfront. It is completely accessible. Lots of benches and picnic tables. It's right around $3 million. Now coming up on the right-hand side, in 1830, he was very fond of the Italian design, so this is what he has done here. Now he and his family lived here for a little while, but what we know it most for, this is one of the homes of our here. This is where you buy the tickets. They have some beautiful indigenous artwork in here, also some artifacts and some artifacts from the home as well. Great artwork above the entranceway, as you can see. The family that bought it just finished renovating it last year. They've done a beautiful job of making it go back into the historical look, what it looked like in 1840. And again, on the left-hand side, we got the Israel synagogue. Everybody's looks are coming out of it. They know it is they're losing all the stuff. So we're turning left here. I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Now coming up on the right-hand side, you can see there's 3 red. Now the first one was built in Kingston, was built in 1834, and of course right downtown, not much parking, very difficult for all that kind of thing. So it's a great stadium, as you can see. The Queen's Golden Gales are the names of the sports teams for the university, and the football and soccer. And once Queen's got established, they took over the area and the farm as well. As we go around the corner, this big high tower that we did after one of the riots in the penitentiary, they moved all of the offices out and they were in here. And now it's the Penitentiary Museum. This is an award-winning museum, very, very interesting in there. The left-hand side, again, with the Kingston Penitentiary, opened up in 1834. what was called back then the Rockwood Lunatic Asylum. Turns out Dr. Leachfield wasn't a doctor at all. He was a con artist. He had no homes. This was its own little community for the workers, the doctors, and the nurses. Of course, the asylum was built in the 1850s by the inmates of the penitentiary, and the building is full of asbestos, and it was built in sections, so the interior walls are support walls. So any moving of the walls, the building would collapse. So you can see the big fence around it. There's a security company. They have to be. Now you can see the back here on the left-hand side. The back. They would have a terrible time doing anything like that. And they have record of history flashed 47 times. The first 9 months he was in the penitentiary. It is abandoned. This was built in the early 1800s. Our first mayor of Kingston, that was this part. These are the more original Rembrandts in there. Nixon Field here beside our building, that is Theological Hall. This was built in 1890, one of the oldest buildings on campus. Kingston Hall and 40s to hold criminal trials, and we still have criminal trials going on in there today. In the olden days, if somebody was sentenced to death, they were hung in the gallows and behind there. And the registry office, this has had jails in Canada, and they said, well, we're not coming unless you build this castle, and he said, okay. So he started creating limestone brick. This is another one of Sir John A. Macdonald's homes. He lived in about 14 different places in the city, they figured. And he was only 5 minutes from Scotland and lived to be about 78, so lots of times. On the left-hand side, this is built in 1830s, a private home. Beautiful, beautiful building. Sort of different architecture from what we're used to seeing in Kingston. The Annandale, this is our oldest apartment building, our first one. Built in 1890. Across the street on the right-hand side, you can see Mary's Cathedral across the street. It is really quite extended. Just going onto the website, there'll be contact information, possibly times with the tours as well. And you'll see that the stained glass windows on the left-hand side as we're going by. The granite stained glass windows. Across the left-hand side as we go around the corner, that's St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. That is the church for Sir John A. Macdonald, and his favorite bar was across the street, which was very handy for him. If you know anything about Sir John A., he was building some more modern storefronts, as you can see. Now the James Street Furniture Store here on the right-hand side, this building's 177 years old. It's always been the James Street Furniture Store, always been owned by the Main family. And again, I'm coming up on the right, the Grand. Lots of great places. The other things that go on, they have live entertainment. Some of the restaurants are live entertainment. Also people playing. Kingston does the most restaurants per capita than any other city in Canada. Lots of interesting shops up and down.
On sort du trolley, on est dans la voiture, on part à l'hôtel. Franchement c'était pas mal, c'est super intéressant ce que la dame disait. J'ai essayé de comprendre mais bon, c'était un peu compliqué. J'ai rien compris. Avant qu'elle parte, elle demande.
J'ai fait exprès.
Elle parle en anglais et en fait elle demandait. Elle disait si on avait trop froid qu'elle ferme en fait le rideau parce que c'était des petites bâches en plastique. Puis commence à enlever sa casquette. J'ai pensé qu'elle voulait qu'on enlève nos casquettes. Et après tu rigoles. Donc ouais, là on se dirige vers l'hôtel. On en a pour 10 minutes. Et ensuite on pourra se poser et goûter. J'ai faim. Je vais vous montrer un peu la chambre, comment elle est. Donc on a un grand lit king size. Hop. Par contre ça fait vraiment vieillot, c'est un peu dommage. Hop. Un petit bureau mais il n'y a pas de chaise. Hop. Frigo, micro-ondes, la télé, de quoi ranger les affaires, un petit siège. Hop. Et Ensuite, à la salle de bain.
Oh merde. On va se laver les mains quoi, non. Si.
Voilà.
Moi j'étais pas walpé. En même temps t'aurais fait plus de vues. Allez, bonne soirée.
Bon, pour ce soir, on est sortis. Pour la dernière soirée, on a fait un petit resto. Et parce qu'il y a des restos sinon à côté de l'hôtel, mais là, on se fait un resto pour fêter la fin des vacances.
Ouais, à la dernière.
Voilà, bière canadienne avec des nachos. Alors?
Very much.
Ok. On sort du resto, c'était très très bon. On s'est pris une petite bière en apéro, c'est pas mal.
Ouais, très bien, merci.
De rien. Ah, pour le dernier resto, dernière soirée au Canada. Demain à cette heure-là, on sera dans l'avion. Ouais, on sera dans l'avion. Je sais pas avec combien d'heures il nous restera de vol, mais voilà. Ouais, 5 heures. Surtout ça, nous, on vous laisse là. Bonne soirée.
Allez, tchuss, my friend, yeah.